Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast powered by 19 Media Group. It is your host, Ricky and Kwame, and today, man, we knew we was going to record with y'all. We just didn't know it would be so jam-packed. Yes, the Los Angeles Lakers are 2-1. Luka Doncic has started the season looking like a created 2K player that had all of the sliders moved up to max except for injuries. After an NBA historic run of scoring 92 points in the first two games, a finger and leg contusion has kept the superstar out. But do not worry. When one exciting white goes down, we have another one. Hillbilly Kobe, Austin Reaves, shut everybody up who thought that he would not be a part of a Laker Big Three scenario, dropping 51 Russell Brussels and the Sacramento Kings head tops last night in a Lakers win. He put the team on his back. He did what he had to do to get the team a W. And if that wasn't enough news, the NBA is knee-deep in a mob gambling scandal. We got former players, current players cheating, coaches cheating, Hall of Famers cheating, invisible see-through cards, and special glasses, as you can see I'm wearing today. So we're going to get into all of it, but make sure if you're not already, subscribe to Late Night Lake Show wherever you get your hashtag good content. Kwame, my brother, the plate is full. The season's kicked off. But we got a lot to pull from in the filing cabinet. How we feeling, man? How we looking the Lakers first 3 games in?
I think we're looking good, man. I'm gonna be honest. Outside of game 1, what a disappointing start to see. I hate losing to the Golden State Warriors. I hate seeing showboating Steph put foots in us. I can't stand it. But bounce back with 2 solid wins the last 2 games. We're gonna be out without Luka for a little bit. Bron still is on the table waiting. It'll be interesting to see how these next couple games shake out. But if last night was any indication of what could come, I think we might be all right.
Let's just dive in with our quick hits. So, like you said, last night Austin Reaves just put on an absolute masterclass. And I'll just say this, bro. There is something about this man and how he gets his buckets that you can't help but to laugh, but to smile as a Lakers fan, and absolutely hate if you are a fan of the opposing team. Kwame, your reaction to Austin Reaves dropping 51, 11, and 9, taking 22 shots from the free throw line and going 6 for 10 from 3.
I guess I'll address the points first. I think it was a little crazy to see Austin go off for 51 points, man. Like, unbelievable. I did not expect him to give a 50 burger. To be honest, I think he had like 21 at the half. I expect him to finish around a cool 40, just given the looks he was getting, the knee. I figured they'd make some second half adjustments to not allow him to get on this kind of heater, but that's not exactly what happened. So, yeah, 51, it's insane. Career high for him. Almost had a triple-double, 1 assist away. And honestly, he would have got it. Jake LaRavia didn't smoke a layup. Or sorry, he let Dennis Schroeder block him on a layup, which is absolutely nuts. But I already know what the haters are going to say. He had the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander whistle last night, man. They were giving foul calls. But if you watch back the video, I'll be honest, a lot of the fouls that were on him, I think were properly called. They had a couple blunders under 2 minutes. So, everybody know the rule, 2 fouls under 2 minutes. You go into the free throw line for every foul subsequent once you get into the bonus. And, yeah, he really went at them once the Lakers found themselves in the bonus. So that's smart basketball to me. I know people don't like the grifting, people don't like the twerking for calls, but I don't think he was particularly going out his way too often to force these calls. But hey, if the defender is not in the right position, it's your job to expose them. But he had a great game. He had a great game all around. Like I said, he was great on the boards. He was great in playmaking. They started to blitz him a little bit in the fourth quarter, and he was able to get those passes off on the short roll to DeAndre Ayton, which allowed him to either go up for a shot or look for the next pass. He really had the Kings on their toes. So I got to give Austin Reaves a ton of credit. He was phenomenal last night. He had the utmost confidence. It didn't matter what defender they threw at him. He felt confident in the pick and roll game, in the ISO, fast break transition. He did really, really well, man. I really can't say enough about his performance. If there was anything to put a shadow of a doubt on it, I would say that it is the Sacramento Kings, guys. Like, this is not a world-beating team. This is not a team you expect to go to the NBA Finals or, heck, even have a deep playoff run. Heck, even make the playoffs in the West. So did he just put up 51 on a bunch of bums? I mean, I guess you could say that, but by no means can you discount 50 points, man. That is an accomplishment that not a lot of players in the NBA ever get to hit. So good for Austin Reaves, man. I'm excited to see what more he could do. But one thing that I think I've noticed about Austin that is really impressive is that he's been able to seamlessly fit in almost any role that's been asked of him in his Laker tenure, whether it's starting, coming off the bench, third option, fill in for the second option, fill in for the first option. He is able to rise or shrink his floor depending on where he needs to be. And that has been really, really good. I know we had a lot of questions about him as a playmaker. He's made those strides as well. I like what I've seen from Austin Reaves, man. So to be honest, him betting on himself, if he can continue to put on performances like this for the rest of the season, he's going to earn that money that he held out for this summer. So I got to give all the credit to Austin Reaves. Phenomenal player, phenomenal performance last night. Let's just see if he can keep it up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Austin Reaves becomes the third undrafted player ever with a 50-10 game. First Laker to get a 50-10 game so early in the season. A couple of stats for you guys. Austin had 6 uncontested catch and shoot threes. Austin Reaves is a three-point shooter. I'm not sure if that was part of the scouting report for the Sacramento Kings, but leaving that boy wide open for 6 of them things, yeah, he's going to start to light you up, right? But it was all 3 levels that he showed his scoring prowess. He had 5 shots off the dribble. Obviously, he showed how he is able to get to the free throw line. And like you said, Kwame, the MVP fouled his way to an MVP and a championship. Who's to say that this is not a blueprint that clearly there are other players in the league are taking note that Austin Reaves does this a lot and are not too happy that Austin Reaves finds his way to the free throw line. But I don't know. This is the year, this is the age of the elite scorer. Sure, it's not good enough just to be able to get your shot and put it up. The ones who average that 24, 25, 26, 27 are taking anywhere 8 plus, 10 plus trips to the free throw line. Sorry. Like, hey, maybe if you guys were able to incorporate that into your game just a tad more, the results would be a little bit better. But Austin Reaves is sitting here, 22 free throw attempts, and you have no other choice but to acknowledge that this man has honed in on that skill set. Little D-Wade, little Shea, little Kobe, if you're being completely honest, with just the tenacity to get to his spots. But I'm impressed. I'm impressed by Austin, and, to be honest, I got to give him a little bit of an apology. So here it goes. AR, my bad, bro. Game 1, emotional. Really emotional evening. No LeBron. Luka's here. Luka's going off. Team on his back. He drops, 43 in game 1. But look over. There was still a little bit to be desired on your end. And if you're going to be the Kobe in this Shaq and Kobe, with Luka being the Shaq in this 1-2 punch dynamic, I needed to see you do your thing. And I guess it just came 2 games later. And to be honest, man, Austin didn't really have that bad of a game 1. I think it was just, losing to the Golden State Warriors kind of clouds the judgment. But, man, the cloud's gone. AR, whatever you feel, man, maybe you are a capable 2 on a championship-winning team. Or is he? Kwame, was this enough to make the determination to you that Austin Reaves is a valuable 2 on a potential championship-winning team, or is he best suited as a 3?
I'll be honest, I think he's probably best suited as a 3 regardless. But we did see a great performance last night of him stepping up and, cosplaying as a number 1 overall option. I think one thing that we need to be a little careful about is, again, Austin Reaves has always been phenomenal in the regular season. The last 2 playoffs are where we've seen some of the hiccups, where the game plan is just to scheme for one team, where he is now a top person in the scouting report. And then again, he seemed to struggle with larger defenders. He struggled mightily with the Timberwolves in last year's playoffs. So we'll see if he's shaking off those demons once the playoffs come. But we've seen during the regular season, he's able to go off for these heaters. I mean, we're looking at his last top 5 scoring performances. He has not shot under 50% in a single one of them. So he's been doing his thing, man. The efficiency stays despite the shot volume going up or down. Austin Reaves is an incredibly efficient player, I will be honest. And then, like I said, he knows how to get to the line. He knows how to draw that contact. He knows how to get those fouls and go to the line and knock him down. So, again, there'll be nights where, yeah, his whistle may feel like it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joel Embiid, the notorious foul baiters. But again, he stays with the efficiency. We don't see a lot of nights where Austin's shooting 25% from the field. No, he really gets in there and does his thing. So just two things to be cautious of. Like I said, his performance will ultimately be judged on how he goes about the playoffs this year. Because he could have a bang out season, but if he goes in the playoffs and lays another egg, it might not look the same if he's not the performer on a big stage. But again, hey, what's to say that he can't just be a player on a bad team and just go bonkers like we had predicted in the previous show. So I think there's a lot there with Austin Reaves, but hey, I'll ride the high with everybody for the moment. This is our number 3 option. He put up 51 points. I'm happy with what I saw. I'm excited for what Austin Reaves can continue to bring to our Lakers team. So it'll just be a matter of time. But AR, I'm glad he did his thing. I'm glad he showed the league that he can do this. And I hope he continues to put people on notice that we got a backcourt that either one can hand you 50.
Next up, man, this is something about the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Luka the Don Doncic was every bit of expectations coming into the NBA season. There was a lot of talk about his fitness, his nutrition, his diet, how he changed and transformed his body. We saw the glimpses of it during Eurobasket, and he did not play much in the preseason, but opening night and game 2, he was just as advertised. Luka Doncic in opening night against the Golden State Warriors, unfortunately in a loss, dropped 43, 12, and 9. It was a vintage textbook Luka masterclass. And what does he do? He follows that up with a game 2 in which he should probably be joining AR, or AR should probably have been joining him in the 50-burger club. Luka did finish with 49, 11, and 8. JJ kept him in there for a couple of extra minutes trying to get that 50-piece, even missed the free throw, talking about free throws, to get over that hump. Funny, no one complained about that when Luka was trying to get that 50, but, Reaves is a stat merchant apparently. So, man, it's tough. It's hard to, sit here and act like that there is a positive of Luka Doncic being injured, right? Luka being out for a week with what we are considering or what the Lakers are calling it precautionary. But here we are. Luka in his latest after game 2, he says, I want to set the tone for everything, but most of all win. And JJ, when talking about Luka's injury, is we'd rather give him time than risk aggravation. Kwame, let's talk about the fun, man, and then we'll talk about the reality. Luka Doncic, first 2 games, we finally got to unwrap our present. What we think?
Oh, man, he looked great out there, man. He was doing it all. Again, and this is what Luka does, man. This is what he does. He goes out there, he'll give you baskets, he'll give you looks, points, rebounds, assists, throw passes you didn't think he could make, step back threes. He gave us the full arsenal. And again, if you look at his offseason where he really paid attention to his body, wanted to get himself right, I'm noticing it on the court. I feel like he's a lot faster, just moving, short bursts, quick bursts. His defensive activity seems to be there a bit more. It seems like his stamina also appears to be a lot better. Strength, again, he's always been a strong player. He'd be able to finish through a lot of these contacts on the drive and one finishes. He's done a great job, man. I think he's really done a solid job just controlling the team, controlling the pace, finding his buckets, getting his baskets where he needs to. And again, not being a liability on the defensive end. I've seen him give fantastic effort in these first 2 games. So again, hey, this is nothing new to me, man. I've been watching Luka since he stepped foot in the league, so I really do love what I've seen from this young man. Glad to see him in the purple and gold. And, honestly, the injury does deflate things a little bit. It makes me a little concerned for the season overall. But, I agree with JJ's point, and, they'd rather get in time than risk aggravation. This is a marathon, not a sprint after all. And we just need to be able to get in the playoffs and then be healthy for the playoffs. First couple games, don't necessarily matter a ton. Obviously, for seeding purposes, it does. But I'll be honest, you have Luka Doncic coming to your gym, you're going to have a problem on your hands. So I think the Lakers coaching staff is aware of that, and whatever they need to do to make sure their players are going to be ready by the time that the playoffs roll around, that's their goal. And like I said, I don't expect Luka to be out long at all. He's a player who, plays through things. He's a tough guy. So I'm not too worried about that. But I'm excited for what I think Luka's going to be able to bring for us. He's going to be crazy all season. The first 2 games was just a glimpse. He hasn't even hit full midseason form yet, man. It's going to be a hell of a season. So prepare the highlight reels, prepare the tape. Make sure you got plenty of extra hard drive space on your computer. Luka's going to fill it all up.
No, that is facts, man. And we've talked about this on previous pods. You've been very close monitoring Luka and his otherworldly talent. Again, another 3-level scorer. Shoot, game 2, Luka had a dunk. He had his first official Lakers dunk. I guess we're counting that. If he dunking, I'm dunking still, Kwame. I'll be honest with you, because that was tap the rim, ball went in the basket.
Yeah, that was.
I can still give you that at 6'3".
That was as close of a dunk as you can call it, man. That's not even a rim grazer. That's like you just drop the ball in and, your fingertips touch the. I don't know, man. It was cool. I'll take it. Because it didn't look like he could dunk anymore at all, to be honest. So anything that looks like he can kind of get back up there at 6'7", I'll take.
And that's the piece, man. It's we talked about this offline. Luka has a game that makes fat rec hoopers feel like they can dominate. Like, it's just, he has a game that does not look like it takes much more than complete body control, elite ball handling, and even more elite shot making. Oh, yeah, being an all-worldly playmaker for others. But Luka doesn't have the burners, right? He's got the size and the three-point shot where you're cooked. That was the whole thing, right, when they were talking about LeBron when he came into the league. It's like, well, he's just a running back. He's just going to get past you. He's too fast. He's a wide receiver. He's going to do anything. He uses athleticism to get to the rim. Luka is obviously a less athletic LeBron, but he makes it up out the gate having that three-point touch. And just similar level playmaking, similar level body control. But watching Luka play makes it feel more realistic. Prime LeBron did not look realistic, man.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. He did not look like a real person playing the same sport as everyone else. Luka looks like he just rolled out of bed sometimes, and he's just going to give you 45 before he's got IHOP lunch meeting with his in-laws. It's beautiful. I'm jealous. I'm very, very grateful to watch the Don. I can't wait for him to get back on the court for our Lakers. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to take a look ahead. The Lakers are going to be without Luka Doncic for the next 3 games at least. LeBron James is going to be out at least until mid-November. What is the future? What are the Lakers? What does the schedule look like for the Lakers, and how can they make the most of this momentum of an Austin Reaves 50-point bomb? Late Night Lake Show. We'll be right back. Late Night Lake Show, we back, and look who we found. Making his season debut, our brother, our third correspondent in the production, Mr. Jody McFly. What up, my boy?
What up, man? I'm glad to be back, bro. I miss you guys. Y'all been holding it down. Some great fucking content. I'm glad to be locked back in, and glad to be here with Brendan too. What up, bro?
Absolutely, my guy. Good to have you back. Jody was he was making his round doing guest spots on life insurance podcasts, and they, he going viral. I was like, we gotta get our man back in the building. We gotta get him with the good sound. You're sounding good, bro. You're sounding good.
Yeah, a little bit. People be like hitting me up, asking me to do certain stuff. So some stuff I'll be cool with. Some stuff I don't be cool with. I'm kind of like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But some stuff I feel like I could definitely chop shit about. So it is.
Facts. We happy to have you, man. The Los Angeles Lakers are moving into the next stretch of their season without Luka Doncic and without LeBron James. So the next 4 games, they will be first facing the Portland Trail Blazers. The Lakers will be introducing their statement edition jerseys, but more importantly, manning the sidelines is Tiago Splinter. If you don't remember Tiago, the former backup big man for the San Antonio Spurs, he will be replacing who is that? Oh, Chauncey Big Shot Billups. Chauncey, what happened? What happened to Chauncey?
Alleged clutch operative.
Yeah, yes, right. Yeah, right, of course, because it all comes back to clutch. Kwame, why don't you tell the folks why the Lakers will not be facing Chauncey Billups when they make their trip to Portland?
Well, fortunately, he's just a coach. But yeah, Chauncey Billups got held up in the NBA's gambling allegations. So the FBI pulled up on Chauncey, threw him in the cuffs, and I think he's out on bail now, if I'm not mistaken. But they'll have their day in court, man. It seems to be a widespread gambling operation that the NBA is currently under investigation upon. So Chauncey is on indefinite leave from his team. So we will not be seeing him for an unforeseen amount of time. So in the meantime, Thiago Splitter will be the head coach.
We'll get into more of that later. Yeah, lots going on in Portland, which makes you also think about what has that done to DeAndre Ayton's reputation for his time in Portland with all that going on. Makes you think maybe he was just not able to rise above that shit show that was going down. But in any event, Ayton and company will be making their way facing the Portland Trailblazers. Then they have the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then kicking off the NBA Cup NBA Cup on Prime will be the Memphis Grizzlies and then the Miami Heat. Jody Joe, Lakers are 2-1 heading into the stretch without Luka and LeBron. There are definitely winnable games in these next upcoming matchups. What are you looking for out of your Lakers, and who are you looking to step up outside of Austin Reaves?
I'm looking for Rui to continue to, do what he's doing. I think Rui is one of the keys to the team because obviously once LeBron does come back, obviously Rui's going to be the one going to the bench. I'm imagining once that happens. But I like Ayton. I feel like if Ayton can do what he did more so here recently than a lot of what he's been known for his career, as far as not really rolling hard, always kind of like not playing his hardest, even in the biggest moments. I think that's really the most important thing to me. I think what you said was a big point though, because it's clear Aiden was in the midst of some bullshit that a kid that's trying to figure it out is probably not gonna overcome if he's already having a tough time with how he left his team that draft. You know what I'm saying? It's hard just to ask anybody to be their best selves in that type of environment. Clearly, from what we're seeing, you know what I mean. And so my main thing is hoping that Rui can just continue to raise his level of play, and then seeing if Aiden, because this is essentially like a contract year for him, basically, like seeing if Aiden can really, really live up to that bill. Because if you can be a dominant big man for the Lakers and you got somebody like Luka right there, I don't know how much of a better situation you can ask yourself for if you're in the situation that Aiden is in, as far as just his reputation amongst the league. You know what I mean?
It's completely understated, man, what type of impact that he could have on the court. And a couple of things that popped up over these last few games. I mean, just with Austin Reaves, DeAndre Ayton showed that chemistry of that big man being able to play off of a ball dominant scorer. We've seen him come and go in Lakerland. A lot of guys who are as historically talented that you see, like your Shaqs and Dwights, have they reign with the Lakers, but you also see that it was always not perfect fits, right? Like Shaq and Kobe won 3 championships and they were symmetry, but they clashed and they butted heads plenty. Dwight and Kobe clashed and butted heads plenty, right? Even folks would wonder out loud about Anthony Davis and LeBron James sometimes about how much AD is actually used in the right way at 4 and a 5. I look at DeAndre Ayton as someone, when you fast forward to today, the Lakers have been trying to find what that other big man that's going to be paired up with Luka. You want somebody that's that lob threat. You want somebody that is an elite screen setter and roller. But then you also want somebody that is able to just get fed the ball and you feel good about them making competent post moves to at least go for a high percentage shot. You don't always get that in big men. Jackson Hayes is half of that. He is the lob threat. You're not giving him the ball and saying make some magic happen ever unless his feet are already off the ground. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So if this is the DeAndre Ayton that the Lakers can count on to be complimentary and dominating, this is a whole new dynamic. And Kwame, I think this is, to your point, of why you were so excited when they signed him, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Aiden can bring a lot to the table. He has all the skill sets, the intent. He has what you need. The only thing that was ever really in question with him was his motor. Because sometimes he'd be out there not necessarily hustling for rebounds. He kind of just stand there while everybody else is jumping around. But outside of that, again, he's tall, he's lengthy, he has offensive touch, the defensive physicals. He has everything he needs to be a very, very good big man. It was really just his motor. Because, you think of the modern NBA, most bigs aren't necessarily featured in their offense. They're usually rim runners or, they're just doing the intangibles. They get their points off dirty work. And Ayton's not really a dirty work type of player. At least that's what he wasn't known for. But now he gets kind of an opportunity to rewrite that, and he can kind of be what he needs to be. But I saw some really, really good stuff from Ayton these last couple games, especially last night, man. He was running up and down the floor, full sprints. He was chasing down people. He was super engaged on both ends. And, I think the guards have made it a bit more of a point to try and get him the ball when they can. Again, and that'll help keep his engagement. You feed a big man running down the court in transition, and he gets a nice little dunk. That is going to charge him up. He's going to want to participate more. So it's on the duty of our ball handlers to be able to get him the ball when he is open and he has those opportunities to make a play. But I really just loved his engagement on both ends. He's been active on defense, active on offense. I think he's been everything that we've needed. He had a great game against Sabonis, who has in the last several years been a demon against us, and he did a really good job on both ends. So I've loved what I've seen from Ayton. I think he's been a phenomenal player for us. I think he will continue to be that way. And we were even shorthanded last night. We didn't have Jackson Hayes, so he had to play, I don't know what his normal minute rotation will be, but he had to play about 36 minutes last night, which is probably a little bit more than he would in a normal situation without having a legit backup behind him, but he's able to hold it down and do his thing. So I love what I've seen from Ayton. All we need to do is keep him engaged and keep that activity, and I think he'll have a very, very, very good season. The skill's always been there. That's never been a question.
All right.
The Lakers are crazy thin at the big position, though. Right? Yeah. There's not much after, especially if Jackson Hayes is on the sideline. So it's very clear right now that the Lakers don't have a lot of room for error. Like, literally, Gabe Vincent went down.
Yeah.
And it does not look like a LeBron James tie your shoe strings a little bit tighter and get back in there. You said he left in a boot, right, Kwame?
Yeah, he walked out the ring in a boot.
You know what I'm saying? So now we are down another guard. We are down a starter. Obviously, it sounds like, Marcus Smart is going to stay there. He was the Luka replacement. Now you need the Gabe Vincent replacement in the starting lineup. So JJ's got a lot on his hands already, figuring out not just what the new starting five should look like, but then also, what is that bench rotation? Are we going to see Bronny James sooner than later? And that flood of headlines and instant reactions. Like, the NBA season just started, and the Lakers' top two scorers, top two playmakers, top two ball handlers, and top two highest paid players are on the sideline.
Yeah.
It's not ideal right now to start, man. So, no. Jody, how are you looking at this as the Lakers try to navigate this from JJ's perspective moving forward?
I'm looking at it as like almost every win that we can get almost counts as two right now at this point.
Yeah.
Because you hoped that we have a good game against the Kings, you know what I mean? Because DeRozan's coming off a bad game before we played him last night. So we're expecting him to actually have a good game, and it's the Lakers. Like, so we know that it's going to be something, you know what I'm saying? Zach LaVine is who Zach LaVine is, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, Russ is definitely going to be thirsty to get anything he can against the team that ruined his career, you know what I mean? So it was just one of those things, but for AR to get 50 plus, man, it's absurd. The level of respect that AR has from the referees is something that I'm praying travels from arena to arena, because we will need that. And I don't give a, people can clip this shit. I honestly don't give a fuck. Like, it's like you said, like our highest paid players we're going to evaluate them when right now.
At least a week, at least 3 games later. So,
yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying, you still got a coach that's in his second year that needs, it's the first game. First thing he say, man, it's who? it would have been good to have LeBron out there. It didn't take one game. And I think Luka, what he had, like 38 that game? 35?
43.
43.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lakers are literally hanging on by a thinnest of threads 5 games within the season.
Yeah.
And
72 hours into the season.
like so whether you think LeBron's injury is real or not, assuming you think it's fake, he still has to ramp up. He still has to play his way into NBA shape against NBA players because he is well into his 40s at this point. And then if you do think his injury is actually really legitimate, he has to overcome the injury and still ramp up. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where I don't necessarily know that it's just going to get better immediately. And I also don't know that LeBron and Luka are like completely locked in or like tied in at the hip. Like we've seen LeBron locked in with his other co-stars. And I don't know that this looks like that to me. You know what I'm saying? Not that they're like cold or standoffish to each other, but this don't look like 2020 LeBron and AD, Luka and LeBron. You know what I mean? So I think they still got some on-court chemistry to kind of work through. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a lot, but I think it's potential there for it to be really nice when it matters, though. I think that's important.
Kwame, what do you see? As far as how you're looking at Luka and LeBron's off-court chemistry. Y'all have been rocking with LeBron since day one. All of his sidekicks, from the Boobie Gibsons to the Mario Chalmers, all the way to the D Wades and the Kevin Loves, and you have also seen the other side, right? Your Russell Westbrooks, your Kyrie Irvings, your Kevin Loves, where you have to fit in or fit out, right? Is there potential for that be the case here with Luka? Somebody LeBron has said out of his mouth, that's somebody that I would love to play with. And especially at this age, I feel like LeBron would be more open to just being like, here, you do it. I've been trying to have somebody else do it for this long. Where do you land as far as Luka and LeBron's relationship as it stands today?
I think it's still, at least on the court, it's still to be determined. I don't think they've got enough games under their belt to really understand each other and how they're going to make this a championship level team. But when I think about LeBron, he's usually, I think once you earn his trust, he's really good at giving it away. We saw it happen with Austin Reaves when he earned that trust. Bron's like, here, you take the ball. I'll go run up the court. Obviously Luka has the talent and Bron knows that, but how does he play off that? And how do the rest of the players fit into the equation? LeBron has been critical of rosters before. What he feels about this roster is still to be determined again. I think he understands what's in the locker room, but at the end of the day, the guys got to go out and play. And LeBron feeds off that energy. When guys play really, really well, he gets into it. Then he starts having fun too. And then then it can really turn into something crazy. Like, think 2018 Cavaliers, after they made the big trade and they got all the new guys in, like Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood, Larry Nance. That was a team that people were unsure of. Once they got on the court and they started doing things that LeBron felt, oh, okay, I might have a little whip here. He started having fun again, and they made that crazy run to get into the playoffs, and they ran all the way to the finals. So I think a lot of that will depend. Obviously, that was a much younger LeBron James, where he had the full burden placed on him. I think he'll be relieved that Luka will kind of be the guy that will have to make those decisions and make those plays down the stretch, but he won't shy away from those moments. But again, I think this is an opportunity where he's been waiting to get rid of the keys, and he finally is a guy that can do it. Probably a little later in his career than he would have liked. I'm sure he probably would have liked this 3-4 years ago, but kind of as we get to the twilight years, I think he'll be all right with it regardless. But for me, I think it's really the LeBron, Luka, AR. I think those guys are going to be fine. I talked about in the last pod that I think the Lakers are expecting these guys to give you about 70 points a night between the three of them. And everybody else going to have to step up and do their part, whether that's Gabe, Rui, Ayton, Marcus Smart, LaRavia. All the guys in rotation are going to have to do their part. So it's not just going to be on these three guys to win every single basketball game. Other guys are going to need to step up. Maybe the silver lining in some of these injuries, these guys are going to get those extra reps and run. Last night, I think looked really good. Rui has been great to start this season. I mean, he's averaging about 17 points a game. I like his rebounding to be a little bit higher, only about 3 boards a game for these first 3 stints, but he's been great on offense. Marcus Smart surprised me a ton. His ability to play in the pick and roll, be the ball handler and make the decisions, the reads. He was drawing fouls, going to the paint. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I literally thought he was just going to come in, stand in the corner, and literally be Pat Bev. But he has shown that he has a bit more versatility than I think a lot of people expected, especially at this point in his career. So that's a pleasant surprise. So like I said, it's going to take us some time. JJ needs to, continue to work with his coaching staff to build the best units. Make sure you're using people to their strengths and not just putting people in places because they can do it. Like Vando, just because he can play short stints as a undersized 5, that doesn't mean that should be his role. He should be guarding point of attack, wings, guys that are going to get, whoever's going to give us the most buckets in that unit is who he should be standing in front of. It'll be stuff like that JJ will still have to work through. And players got to go out there and, like I said, perform. A coach can give a game plan no matter what it is. If the players can't go out there and perform, then it is what it is. So I think it's a lot of things that we'll be able to see to evaluate this team over the course of the next several months. But, I think these injuries are going to be able to give our players opportunity that they may not have gotten to see otherwise and make them understand their roles a little bit better. So, it's a gift and a curse. It's a little bit of give and take, but ultimately, once I think this team has been able to get some real good reps, since we didn't get a ton in preseason, the reps are going to have to come during the live season. So there's going to be them nights where guys aren't going to want to get up and play, and they're going to have to. So fortunately, the NBA season's long. We got 82 games to find our seeding and get into the playoffs. I think we'll be all right ultimately, so I'm not worried.
Just hopping back to the DeAndre Ayton conversation, I really do want to kind of just emphasize that this is an addition that the Lakers haven't had. And yes, Anthony Davis is a Hall of Fame talent and player, amazing across the board. When thinking about the next ilk of centers and bigs in the league, Anthony Davis is a max player that is going to command a max deal anywhere he goes. The Jaren Jackson Jr., max wherever he goes, right? But Bam probably is maxed wherever he goes. You get a drink at me, I'll tell you the truth of how I feel about him. But there's only a certain number of players that are certified from day one. Obviously, Jokic, right? But then you drop down a level, and who are the guys that, if stupid franchises want to make sure they're on their team, will give them a crazy salary. But there are fits that highlight them the best. DeAndre Ayton plus Luka Doncic can really, really jumpstart this man's trajectory of the rest of his career.
Yeah.
And Kwame, you said it earlier, doing it in the purple and gold is different. There's no two ways about it. Jody, like you said, if the Lakers ruin Russ's career, the Lakers can make your career, right? It has to be even on both sides. And if DeAndre Ayton works out, and that equals what? Right now he's averaging 15.7, 9.7 rebounds, and 62% from the field through 3 games. He gives me that. The Lakers are extending him for multiple seasons, right? He'll probably have competition. He'll be competition across the board for his services. But the Los Angeles Lakers and Luka Doncic, who share representation with DeAndre Ayton, now have the inside track. Those are one of the moves that everybody I know gets on Rob for what he does or does not do. This setup right here could pay dividends, not just for this season, but really set the Lakers up for success, because now you can check a position off the box of starting caliber big, and dare I say all-star caliber big, depending on what his impact is year in and year out. He has that talent, and the Lakers got him. Let's keep this going for Ayton. And if we have our big stars down, it should definitely just be the Ayton and Reaves show for the foreseeable future. 14 screen assists in the last 2 games, 9 post touches versus Sacramento, and a defensive rating when he's on the court of 105. Need all that. Need all that consistently. And I need all that especially with these next 4 games. Fellas, what we say? Lakers next 4, Portland, Minnesota, Memphis, and Miami. Then hopefully we will see Luka back. Coming out of that, the Lakers are 2-1 going into it. What is the Lakers record leaving that Miami game?
I think it'd be 5-2. What would that be? 3 wins and 1 loss? Who's that? 5-2?
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be 5-2. Yep.
Because I think they can get all of those wins. If I'm just going off of what AR showed me, now I'm not saying I expect him to drop 50, You know what I'm saying? But a team that's capable of their number one guy, in this case AR, to be able to do something like that, I think you can go into those places if Aiden does what we expect him to do, or we hope him to continue to see him do. Like, this is a great opportunity for him. You really couldn't ask for a better opportunity if you're Aiden. For Luka to watch, for LeBron to watch, for the front office, like, you here with a guy who really got it out the mud. I don't know how much grimier Austin Reaves could have got it than what he did. We talking about a guy that started off undrafted and then G League to dropping 50 in max guys' faces.
Yeah.
Max guys' faces. So if you can, Aiden, if you can lock this out, you know what I'm saying? I know what you did against Gobert. You telling me you can't do that again and not playing?
Yeah.
You
Gobert,
telling me
and
you
then turned around and did it to
Sabonis.
the bonus. So
you
that's
telling me
two.
you can't do that in Charlotte? You telling me we can't, you know what I mean? I just feel like y'all should be able to get that done. At least 3 out of those games. You can get 5 wins. That'll be all right. But that's best case scenario. Things don't always go in our favor. So they might have a stinker or two in there.
And not for nothing, Gabe Vincent isn't, a make or break, but he's definitely a piece, especially with a depleted backcourt already.
Right.
He will be out, and I don't expect him for any of these games if he's in a boots. With that said, Kwame, thoughts on the Lakers' next 4: at Portland, home against Minnesota, at Memphis for the start of the NBA Cup, and then home against Miami.
I'm kind of with Jody on this one. I think we could easily go 3-1 in this stretch. Easily. Again, Portland, a young team, still trying to find their own. And again, I don't know what the backlash of their coach's situation, how the players are feeling, what could be going on in the locker room there. So they did beat Golden State, so that's something we have not done. Portland could be an interesting one. Minnesota without Edwards, that's got to be a win. Like, that's one of those games we have to win. And I get we're without our guys too, but you talking just supporting cast versus supporting cast, we should have that one. So I'm hoping we pull out that Memphis or that Minnesota one. Memphis next, that's probably the toughest one. I lied. It's probably Miami, to be honest, because Miami sneakily gets us. But Memphis is a tough team, man. They're healthy. Jaren Jackson is always giving us problems. Ja will be there. Hopefully we can bank on a Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia revenge game combination that carries us to a W. But Miami's tough, man. They're tough. They're a well-coached team. It's always random players that go off on them against us. You just never know, man. So at best, I think 3-1 is super feasible. More likely, though, it's probably 2-2. But you never know. You never know. Again, barring injuries, whatever can happen. But I'm hoping with the current roster that we are working with, I think we can go 3-1. But like I said, more realistically, it's probably 2-2.
Yeah, I think you guys are on. I do think Minnesota and Miami is obviously the matchups that can go either way. I think the Minnesota still has enough firepower to at least, combat an Austin Reaves, DeAndre Ayton led matchup. And then, like you said, Miami is always sneaky. Thank God it's not in Miami. We need everybody focused for that game. And then hopefully a little home court advantage. LA is still a place that the Stars, when they come to visit, there's a little extra time that they spend in LA. So I'm going to go officially with a 2-2 stretch. I want to be more realistic this year for myself, right? Not saying nobody else is unrealistic, but, I'm going to embark some of my Chicago Bears pain into expectations for Lakers seasons right now until we get all of our guys healthy, where you will have to surprise me and show me that you guys are not playing this year and not have me leading the pack telling y'all that it's going to be this way, and then you get dropped and look crazy. So protecting my heart this season. You feel me, man? Like Jody, Steelers fan, me, Bears fan. It was just,
God, bro. Don't even bring up that team, man.
Week to week, man. I mean, well, A-Rod got his return, his reunion with his former team out the way. Now y'all can continue on and prosper this season, right?
Respect our privacy in this time, please. Thank you.
Jody's a big Steelers fan, so switching up the gears, y'all. First question on the board. Do we think Austin Reaves can keep up this type of usage in production? Obviously, 50-point games are not going to be something that we expect out of the boy. Was this a blip on the radar against a bad team, or do you expect AR over this stretch to still lead the Lakers in scoring? Kwame, we'll start with you, bro.
I'm going to be honest, man. I don't know if, okay, obviously 50 balls aren't going to be the norm. He's not going to go out and average 50 points per game. That won't happen. But do I think elevated scoring? Yes. And to be honest, I don't think it's a blip on the radar. I don't think it's an anomaly. Austin Reaves has done this before. He's done this before. Like, this is not unknown. We watched our team roll into Boston at, what was it, 2 seasons ago, and he went crazy. Took us to a win. Shorthanded at that. You think of his last 5 top scoring games, we have against the Kings, Pacers, Nets, and Nuggets. All of those, he scored 37, 38, 45, and 51, all over 50% shooting. The guy can play, bro. And again, he's savvy. He knows how to get to the line. So all things considered, I think he can continue to do this pretty well. Again, until defenses shift their entire focus to just getting the ball out of his hands, or they start literally treating him like Luka Doncic on the offensive end, I think he can easily continue to keep doing this. Again, it's going to take other players that are going to need to perform when he does give the ball up, but he's shown the capability of being able to raise or, lower his scoring based on whatever role he's currently slotted in. Again, he's been efficient no matter what the volume is, whether he needs to score 50, whether he needs to score 25. He's efficient in all means. He gets the line, and when he gets the line, he makes them count. He's not leaving a ton of points on the board when he goes to the free throw line. His playmaking has taken step by step each year that he's been in the league, so he's better at creating for others, not only himself. He's got a little bit of everything, man. So why can't he continue to keep doing this while the guys are out? And even when they come back, again, he's very good at slotting back into that role. For the last 4 years he's been on the team, he's done everything from undrafted two-way to coming in off the bench sparingly to being the sixth man to getting a starter to being a starter in the playoffs to being the third option to being the second option to cosplaying as the first option. He's done every single role that you can imagine in the NBA, and he's been able to be successful at them all, and he's never once lost his efficiency. He's always been an extremely efficient player. So to that regard, man, I got to give Austin a ton of credit, man. He's been great. I think he's the guy to do what we need to do for these next couple weeks games until players come back. Again, at the end of the day, ultimately his value will be judged on if he's able to carry that into the playoffs. But for the regular season, man, Austin has showed that he can roll into any gym on any given day and serve your team buckets. He's out of Arkansas and he will give you hell. And I like it, man. I like it. So I'm confident with what Reaves is going to be able to bring for us. I'm not worried about his level of efficiency. Now, will he have a couple stinkers here and there? I think he can. I think anybody's susceptible to that. But, hey, man, the evidence has been there, man. When he needs to raise his ability, he pulls up and he does what he needs to do.
36% usage since the injuries to LeBron and Luka. Jody, get us out of here. Austin Reaves, if he keeps up this level of impact, especially with the Lakers big two not suiting up, is this a recipe for an all-star level season?
I think so. I definitely think so. I think the sky is the limit for Austin Reaves, and is one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity, you know what I'm saying? And this is the case for Austin. Kind of to Kwame's point, he's cosplayed in every role. Austin has done everything except be named an all-star, get named All-NBA, and win a championship and play in the finals. Outside of that, he's almost done everything else there is to do in the NBA. He knows how to get to his spots. He knows how to make his free throws. He's not phased by the moment. We've seen him forged in the fire on the road in Memphis. We seen what he did in Memphis, and it was some real guys on that floor. We seen LeBron.
Said, I'm him.
I'm here. Like those moments matter. You know what I'm saying? So when you say, hey, can he do, like, he might be like, man, this ain't a playoff environment. We're talking about early games in October, November. You want me to score 30 here? All right. So I don't know what if you're saying, can he score over 28 plus? Can he average? I don't know that. I know that he can consistently probably get us 24 plus points a game. He can consistently get other teams into foul trouble, which affects how they want to play the game, which affects how they want to play defense, which can affect other things. Like there are things about his game that impacts others that are really, really good. And I think that will continue given the freedom. And the more reps he gets, only the better it's going to make it for when we get to those moments in May, you know what I'm saying, in April, when we in rock fights and we need a shot to be made. And sometimes we might feel like Austin might go, he might disappear in the playoffs because his legs might be shot because he didn't play so much or he's not as strong. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I think it's just another part of his maturation process as a basketball player as in a whole, you know what I mean? And as long as he can continue to stay healthy, continue to play the right way, because he does play the right way. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. He gets his game off without it being at the expense of everybody else on the team. You know what I'm saying? And that's one reason why I think we can be able to win these games with him leading the way. You know what I mean? So I hope that Austin can be an all-star this year. It's gonna be tough because Ja wants to is coming back this year. So if he becomes an all-star this year, it'll be because he 100% earned it. And that's how you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? So I got faith that he can do it. But I think what's more important as far as for us, I think he's capable of doing what he's been doing as far as leading the way.
Agreed.
Bonus question. What's more likely, fellas? Austin Reaves making an all-star team or LeBron James being left off all NBA any team this NBA season?
All NBA is cooked.
Easy.
All NBA is cooked.
He's done.
That's cooked.
That's
Yeah,
done.
That's over with.
I would be.
Damn,
he's never
my
making it
two
again.
LeBron boys saying it. That's the end. That's the end of the streak, huh?
Well, one,
Oh
he
yeah,
gotta, he got to worry about just the game requirement first and
Right.
foremost. Even just making
Facts,
the game requirement
true.
straight up.
and that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Exactly. And they was already hating. What was he, second team last year? They was hating on it the whole time. So they not trying to give him any more concessions in year 23.
And once you break the streak, he's never making it again. He's never gonna be all NBA again. Like if he comes back next year, you know what I'm saying? And let's say he 26-6 and whatever the fuck. He's still not gonna be all NBA that year because they've already stopped the all in. Like so, that's how I know we getting close to the end because he don't care about. Like he was like, you know what? I said this on the timeline. I don't think people really caught about it. Like think about it. How many times in your life do you think LeBron James missed opening day in his life for organized sports ever?
That's the first time in his life for sure. Unless he had a tournament for another game somewhere.
Something like that. It had to be some like super extenuating circumstances. And even then, probably very, very rare. It had to be serious for him to seriously be like, I'm going to forego opening night in one of the later years of my career. So I think that's definitely, I think all NBA is cooked. I wouldn't be surprised if All-Star is cooked as well, just because he didn't go to the All-Star game last year.
And they was mad about that.
And they were mad about that. Only thing is fans vote. And so fans are probably going to vote him in. But it's just, we getting close to the end. And that's okay because the niggas had a hell of a run.
Yeah, hell of a run.
We're going to take our last break. And when we come back, we're going to get our Italian Mozioni da Vinsky. I'm going to go and order me some Alfredo, put on some Alchemist, because we got to talk scandals. We got to talk gambling, the mafia, the NBA. Oh, it's going to be good. Late Night Lake Show. We'll be right back. Late Night Lake Show. We back. It's Kwame. It's Jody Joe. It is Ricky here with y'all. Lakers played tonight. By the time you guys are hearing this, it will be last night against the Portland Trailblazers. But one thing that is for sure, they will not see Mr. Chauncey Billups on the sidelines. As Kwame already outlined, he was caught up and arrested in a suspicion of a insider gambling poker scandal. And it's not just him. Former NBA players, current NBA players are all now being run up with charges. Forget point shaving. This poker nights with mob bosses and NBA insiders selling injury info is easily the worst headline the NBA has ever ran into. Federal indictments dropped on over 30 people, including Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and former Lakers assistant Damon Jones. The schemes? Mafia-rigged poker games defrauding millions using X-ray tables and invisible ink and insider prop bets where players leaked their own availability. ESPN calls it the insider trading saga of the NBA. How does this impact the Lakers? Well, like we said, Damon Jones is a former Los Angeles Lakers assistant, and he allegedly shared LeBron's availability with people that led to bets on the Lakers to lose. The Mafia families, the Bonanos, the Gambinos, the Giovannis, the Lucheses, every name that you can think of at Maggiano's is on this list. And man, it is nasty. Jody, I'm going to kick it to you first. Does this whole scandal light a flame to sports betting in America, or is this just one of those burning buildings and car accidents that you'll continue to drive past and be like, oh, that's crazy?
It's a big burning building that you're gonna drive past, but it's a spectacle, and you probably ain't gonna never forget it. And I feel like as time goes on, we'll just get remnants and remnants of whatever the real plot here or play is going on. Because I'm thinking it's either like one or two things. Like either Chauncey Billups is a real scumbag and he was like out here scamming guys that he played with, guys that he knew that he knew had money that was able to be taken, or Chauncey ended up getting in the hole really, really bad with some bad guys, and they was like, we're gonna make you do this, or we're gonna hurt you, hurt your loved ones, or fuck up what you got and what you got going on in some way, shape, or form, however the hell that is. You know what I'm saying? So who really knows? And honestly, we'll probably never know the truth, nothing but true urban legends, because usually those types of stories don't come out until well after the fact, until some people have gone away in one way or another, whether they're in jail or they're like super, super old, or they passed away under questionable circumstances. Cause and it sounds crazy, but we're talking about the mafia, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about large sums of money. And I'll just say this, I love playing poker. And so when you're playing poker and you are playing for large sums of money, people who have millions upon millions of dollars, you only can go to certain places that can carry that type of money, assuming you were able to win, or you know what I mean?
Correct. Yep.
Only certain types of people are able to do those types of things. You know what I'm saying? Only certain types of people and organizations can have access to that type of stuff. And so it's definitely some shady shit going on. And it's one of those things where it's just like, man, how do you put the toothpaste back in the tube? Because you can't take away sports gambling now that you've made it legal, because there's way too much money to be made. And the people that own the sports gambling companies not about to get a taste of infinite growth, because people will always gamble and just take it away because somebody got caught doing whatever, or some player, because Terry Rozier he's the rank and file at NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
right.
like in theory, Terry Rozier betting or rigging a game is probably not even going to be of that great consequence, because nobody's focused on Charlotte Hornets games or Heat games when he was a very, very important player, to the point where you're like millions of eyes are watching him. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, if you put it back 20 years ago, when the Lakers and the Kings were going through the series, and then Tim Donaghy got caught up in his whole scandal, that was a burning building, that was a big ass spectacle. But we kept driving past, didn't we? It was just like, okay, well, it may or may be some here, may not be. Something was ugly, but hey, the season's starting and the Pistons are good now. You're not like,
right. Look at this over here.
so it was just one of those things where I just think it's gonna be something akin to that, and you're never gonna stop poker players, people from playing poker. That's never gonna happen, and you can't get organized crime out of poker. That's why you ain't see no organized crime members perp walked. But you seen Chauncey Billups in a clutch hoodie. You seen what's his name, Terry Rozier in a Charlotte in a Hornets hoodie. But you ain't see one of these organized, because they tied in and they like, all right, whatever, but you not about to walk him out in front of the world. And you know what I'm saying? So they're obviously tied in to people that we not. And Chauncey Billups already has a checker pass. So they're going to definitely perp walk his ass out there, because he got some crazy stuff that was attached to his name years and years past. And then Terry Rozier is connected with Rick Pitino. So they're like, they were like the lowest perfect hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to always be the case, because these are young basketball players with money. So it's unfortunate, but Damon Jones, he's not the only one. And I would imagine if there is a big conspiracy, like if there really is, which I'm certain there is, but if something like that were to happen, it would never get out unless there was a whistleblower, unless there was somebody who was willing to put their lives on the line because there's too much money at stake. So let's say, just for the sake of argument, insert player name here, biggest player you can think of. It could be LeBron, it could be Steph, it could be AD, it could be Luka, it could be Wemby. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the biggest name facing the league is, let's
Let's
say
make it
there's
Jokic. I wanna put it on somebody else that
okay,
can
we'll say
get the
Jokic, just like
allegations.
Otani.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
found
No,
the
literally
fall guy.
what I thought. Yep.
Yep.
There's too much money to be made. Too much money to be made. That's why it should have never happened, because it's like you don't want it to fall into where people really feel like it's WWF. You know what I'm saying? And
Correct.
and it's a slippery slope to get there. And I feel like we kind of sliding if
We starting to slip and slide.
Yeah.
No, great points all around, Jody. It's uncharted territory if you're a bettor, and this is part of your excitement of sports. And sports gambling is integrated now into, especially the NBA. They're partners, right? They have different promotions that they run directly with these sports betting apps. My thought is, what is that relationship going to look like? Do I think it's going to completely go away? Absolutely not. Now, are they going to be a little bit more a selective of how they talk about their relationships with these institutions? Yeah, I think you now have a perception of your league that is saying, hey, at every level, now we have seen some type of cheating. Oh yeah, this is on the back of a huge scandal with an owner paying a player under the table, allegedly, to join his franchise and not fulfill any of the duties for his endorsement deal. It's nasty all the way around. It's starting to look, wherever you go in the NBA, as the era of LeBron James and Steph Curry, and that guard of talent starts to get into the twilight years, and they're at the ends of their road, and you look to see who's going to be the next face of the league. You also have to realize, what is the entertainment value of that next era? And if you have generations or groups of people that are going into this thinking, well, the NBA is fake anyway, so why the hell would I care about the next up-and-coming star? That's going to hurt. The NBA went through this already with who's going to be the face when Michael Jordan goes away. Luckily for them, they got a Lakers three-peat to help bridge that gap and from an entertainment value. I wouldn't be surprised if you start, I'm not saying that the NBA is orchestrating all this, but I would not be surprised if you start seeing like the bigger name franchises over these next couple of years having the most success, and that may be to persuade the public opinion on how good the sport currently is. A New York Knicks in the NBA Finals, a lot of people stopped talking about the NBA and gambling and how it's rigged. A Lakers-Knicks Finals with Luka Doncic and a New York franchise that hasn't seen the finals since, the 80s, the 70s, that's going to dominate any headline known to man. So not saying that
Luka,
they're just layering the
Giannis,
conspiracy on top, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, Luka, Giannis finals, Giannis with the Knicks and Luka in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like post a LeBron retirement or some shit like that would really be like a great start off to like really, you know what I'm saying, kick off the next generation of the NBA. But like you say, that's tricky. You don't want that to happen, and people like, nah, I'm kind of cool with this.
Yeah. I mean, Cooper Flagg is already a Dallas Maverick, fresh off of the Dallas Mavericks trading Luka Doncic to the biggest franchise in the league. Derrick Rose went to the Chicago Bulls. LeBron James went to the Cleveland Cavaliers, their home court teams. Patrick Ewing is allegedly went to the New York Knicks in a frozen envelope scandal. Michael Jordan left the NBA for a year and a half to go pursue baseball. There's a lot of stuff, man, that you look at the history of the sport, there's ties to some darker things, and not like scary dark, but there's a lot of dirtiness, man. These Gambinos, Giovannis, you probably asked some of their circles, they got the NBA in their pocket. I think this is
100%.
just an example of that here. But hey, that's the life we live in. This is America, right? This is the land of the free, home of the scammers and credit card swipers. So if you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you're not denying and multiplying your money, why are you even here? That's the business of growing, the business of corporate greed, and honestly, the business of just being able to get it how you live. You got your Tim Donahues of the world, your Terry Roziers, all the way to what you got in the White House. So pick your poison of what you want to do and how far you're willing to go to do it. So we'll leave y'all with that.
Damn.
Lakers got a game tonight against the Portland Trailblazers in the new statement jerseys. We'll take our first look at that. We are excited to see how Austin Reaves and DeAndre Ayton follow up on their strong performances. No Gabe Vincent, no Luka Doncic, no LeBron James, but we will be here with y'all every step of the way, checking in with y'all next week. Maybe Jody got some time for me later on this week and we can chop it up, but that'll do it for this episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. For Kwame, for Jody, and Ricky, and Brendan in the back, we out. Peace.